gotten more value out of knowing the people I'm helping, and then the referrals come. Just the trust is there, and I was talking to this lady for an hour, and 10 minutes was about solar. The other 50 minutes was about aliens and conspiracy theories and chemical spills, and she's super into like nothing is what it seems, and I'm like, to be honest, I think the same thing. Let's talk about that. And then at the end of it, she's like, all right, well, we're doing business, just send me over the info.
All right, guys, welcome to the Sales Talk with Solar Pros podcast. And today we've got Cameron Mahr on the line. And I've got a massive intro for this guy. Now, he is a former frontman. And when you sent me this frontman, I'm like, what the hell is a frontman? And I actually researched it on Google, man. So Cameron started singing and performing at the age of 18. And I'm going to tell you a funny story later, man, because I was also in a band. So you started performing at the age of 18. You were immediately hooked, and you spent several years traveling across the country. You got to tell us some stories about that as well. You played in different bands. You played at different venues as well. You enjoyed the thrill of being on stage, of being in front of a large crowd of people. You loved the creative outlet that the music gave you as well. And as you got older, you realized that, the lifestyle of the musician was, probably not going to be too sustainable, to make, a lot of money or to live life. So today, Cameron started working for Solar City in 2015. That's when he got into the solar industry. He quickly found success in sales. He rose through the ranks in the industry and now is viewed as a prominent leader in the clean energy movement. And today, Cameron is a passionate guy who works in the solar industry. He's proud to be making a positive impact on this world. Dude, welcome to the podcast, man. Welcome to the podcast. Tell us about yourself. Tell us your story, and tell us your claim to fame, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. I grew up at a high school. I was like pulled in two directions, right? I wanted to be a rock star. I also was really good at sports. It was really weird because I was hanging out with like the emo kids, and I was also hanging out with the jocks, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I went into bands, went into music. I just loved it. It was called Screamo at the time. Kind of just rock, whatever. But it was fun. And then I'm just expounding on the bio because that you did me justice there. I didn't think I was going to get that cool of an introduction, but yeah, man, I was running there's a lot of space in there. I did that. Met my now wife while I was on tour. Decided to go back. I met her in Vegas. Decided to go back to Vegas after the tour was done. And then, fast forward, had a kid, got married, and started a bunch of businesses, online entrepreneurship, all this stuff. And then met a guy at church. It's funny, while I had an online shoe business, and he was like, you got to get into solar. I work at Solar City. Our headquarters are here in Vegas. And I'm like, what? Like, I own my own business. I don't. And anyway, he went after me multiple times. And this was like 2015, 24. It was like 2014, 2015, around there. I don't remember, to be honest. It was like the Wild West. Solar City. If anybody that doesn't know what Solar City was, Elon Musk, if you know how to actually say his name, but Elon Musk, like he funded that. He started that. His cousins ran that. Lyndon and Peter Rive. And I didn't even know that at the time. I just was like, oh, my buddy said to come work here. I pretty much started over. I'm like, what was I, 30? I'm 38 now, but I was 30. And I started as an appointment setter on the phone. Like, wow. like
So
calling.
not door to door. This was like straight up cold.
No, I've been virtual. I've been virtual. I've done door to door. I've run those teams too, but I kind of been virtual from the start without even trying. I just didn't know what I was doing. I mean, back then, man, like if you saw the pay plans, and I don't know if I can even say anything. I think because Tesla bought us, and now they dissolved their solar division, so I could probably say some stuff. But I mean, $50 a kilowatt, that's the pay. You're just, yeah. When as a closer, I was setting, so I was getting like, I was getting $15 an hour plus freaking like $10 a kilowatt. And so, the lights are literally going off in my conference room. But
dude, that's Elon, man. That's Elon. He's listening to you.
Yeah, he literally. So there's still light on me. I don't know if I'm too dark, but anyway. No, so yeah, he heard me. He heard me through my phone and just shut the lights off on me.
Down.
No, I wasn't talking bad. He does some good stuff, but no, it was cool. I started as a phone setter, became a closer. Like the fastest you can do it was 30 days. Like you had to hit a number, and I was like, I got a family at home. Like I don't have time for this little kid stuff. And no offense to all the little kids, but yeah, all offense to them. Whatever. Moved up. Became a closer, manager, director, whatever, all this stuff. Just started realizing like making 150,000, which is amazing. I'm not discounting that. That was great, but I was doing better than that in my other businesses. And I was like, how did I get here? So I had an opportunity from a really good buddy of mine named Bryson, calls me up, says I'm at the MGM and says, hey, fast forward. Actually, I'm not going to fast forward yet. It ended up being that we were. You know how there's Sunrun in Costco?
Yeah.
Well, I guess you guys are not here in the States, but Sunrun has
seen it. Yeah.
You've seen it. So we were a company called Mint Solar, and we were Sam's Club. We had stands like that in Sam's Club. Yeah. I just jumped in. They placed me. I instantly was like 2 to 3x what I was making at Solar City. It was great. I was selling. Had people in the clubs. It was like this huge thing. Turns out some of the owners, honestly, I don't know what they did, so I guess I can't get in trouble for saying this. By the way, we're talking about stuff like this. Hey, we've got some stories here, bro. But it was the Wild West. I think it's still the Wild West, but dude, we were doing great. We're running Vegas, opening in Arizona, California, Colorado, where else were we? Texas, Florida, Utah. We had a contract for every single Sam's Club in the country, and we were rolling it out. Turns out that some of the investors, people, whatever, they left the country. They live on a non-extradition island with like $16 million. And I didn't get paid anything. They owed me like 80 grand at the time. That was like crazy money. I was like, oh my gosh, that's what I made at the last job. And it was only over like 6 months. They bounced, lost the contract. LGCY Power, like I can say them, they're all my buddies, but LGCY Power, if you guys have heard of them, they're huge. Yeah. They're awesome. Love Luke and Doug and Seth and them, but they acquired us in order to acquire the contract for Sam's Club. And then Sam's Club's cut it. And so I was just sitting there and so that's when I learned about dealers. That's when I learned about red lines. Okay. This was 2018. This isn't that long ago. It's 5 years ago. 2018, I learned what a red line was. I didn't know what it was until 2018. I thought, they're paying me $200 a kilowatt. That's awesome. And that is awesome, depending on what you're doing in your job and, what it takes. It's still awesome. But I learned about a red line, and I made some connections, and I started my own dealer with the company that was fulfilling Sam's Club. And honestly, it's history from there. Started a dealer there, met Abby at Empire. Started a dealer with her, and just put in minimal, personal volume, started teams, and then, ran a bunch of stuff. And let's fast forward all the way to last April. So making great money, like on the side, whether it's in homes, whether it's selling, in any state I want, because virtual is king, I think, when it comes to lifestyle. But remote, I guess, in your words, remote solar pro, right? Virtual solar pro, whatever. And I just maintained relationships, SolarCon, all these fun stuff. Our boys, Danny Pesci, Jay Kess, all these big names. Everybody, if you're actually in this industry, they're great guys, incredible people. Kept the relationships, and I get a DM last April. And I'm getting to the whole who I'm working with now, but I get a DM last April that says, "Hey," and it's from some name I've seen in the solar groups, in your group especially. He's a bigger player in the Spanish speaking part of the industry. His name's Caesar, saying, "Hey, we're working with David Williamson, CEO of Titan, or former CEO, whatever. He won't care if I said that, but
we should get him on.
We're going to a Suns game maybe in 2 weeks. But anyway, he drops that name. I'm like, yeah, I'll text him right now, see if that's true, whatever. He's like, yeah, we're talking to him. And I said, cool, good for you. 2 weeks later, I didn't even look at it. I'm just like, whatever. I'm just selling my own stuff over the phone. And then the next week he sends the same text and includes Brad Lee's name in it. For those of you that don't know who Brad Lee is, I just been following him because he lived in Vegas. I lived in Vegas. Sorry, they're doing construction outside of where I'm at.
You can't even hear it.
And they said Brad Lee, and I was like, yeah, right. And I'll be honest, at that time I was maybe a fanboy, but I just learn a lot from his podcast. I've connected to a lot of good coaching, a lot of good information. I've been listening to him since 2017, when I was still Tesla at the time. And they were like Bradley, and to me, he was kind of like celebrity, right? And he is. I mean,
marketing king.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's a cool ass dude. But they told me, and I was like, yeah, prove it. And the next morning I had plane ticket. They said, what's your email? I had a plane ticket, a hotel, and I flew down the day after that. And I met with them, hung out with him 6 hours the first day, in his office. All the videos, if you follow him on Instagram or whatever, I was just sitting there while he was just talking to a camera.
I remember.
I have videos just filming that and just kind of going is he serious? Is he really starting a solar company? Yeah, and that's what I mean. This is what my team is, Real Solar Army. But that's not even why we're here. It's just a fun story. But Brad saw the vision. He'd been thinking about it for the last couple of years, because a couple of his buddies are big super dealers for Freedom Forever. And then he decided, how about I just start my own company with these guys that I know and I trust. So those were the guys that introduced me to him. I hung out another day with him the next day. He's like, so you ready to rock or what? And I was like, okay, got nothing to lose. It's kind of funny. I mean, he follows a lot of people, but he's like, all right, I'll follow you. And to me, that was kind of cool. This guru, whatever, he doesn't think he's a guru. He's such a chill dude, driving in his freaking $700,000 Ferrari, whatever.
Ferrari, man. Yeah.
But he's just cool. He's real. That's his brand. And obviously my brand, I'm emulating after it, the real Cameron Mahr, the real Bradley. A lot of us are emulating it because it's culture. It's a team thing. And so anyway, I know I'm talking your ear off. I'll let you ask some questions, but fast forward to now, he hasn't really used his influence yet. We've just been very, very strategic and organic. And, he's the top keynote speaker at SolarCon this year. We negotiated that with Jake and the other founders, and he's coming in and he's like, I'm going all in on this thing with you guys. Like when it comes to the networking, the sales, the notoriety, the conferences, whatever. So that was a big move, and I don't know. We're excited. Honestly, like the whole fame, the whole this and that. Like, I mean, you're more famous than I am, but in the industry, mainly because of that smile. But at the end of the day, like that does help like grow teams and people want to be around you and all that. But money, it comes, financial well-being and stability and financial peace and freedom. Like that's all I'm about with this industry. And we actually like do something good. We're not screwing somebody to get rich. So that's what I'm pumped about. And yeah, man, like, I mean, I don't want to keep going, but that's where we're at. And we're ready to, I always hesitate to say, take over the industry. Like we're all on the same team. We're all on the same team. And once we all realize that, it's not us versus them versus us. I think that's when we actually is the tipping point to, we're better than you. We're better than you. Oh, we have a better red line. We have this and that. Like once we all realize like we're all part of the same movement, and yeah, we can get rich. We can do all this stuff. We should because of what we're doing, like the value we're adding to people. But at the end of the day, if we all realize like we come together at SolarCon or Door to Door Con or whatever, there's not a lot of stuff yet. There's going to be a lot more conferences. We're working on something too. But once we come together and want to all elevate each other, celebrate, like revel in each other's wins, like be like, I'm so pumped that you that made me no money, you made me nothing. I have nothing to do with it. Once we're so fired up on someone else's success, like that's when we like, I don't know what the word is, reach the singularity of like exponential growth to where we can actually impact more than 4 or 5% of the country. Anyway, you can probably tell I'm kind of fired up about what we do. I don't do it just for money. That's the main reason why we do most things, and it is the main reason why I do it. But there's other reasons too.
No, I really love that attitude as well that you have. I mean, it's a great example of the abundance mindset. And what really strikes me is that there are so many sales orgs out there. And you've taken a different approach, which is to, utilize a big profile. And you mentioned that, you haven't actually used that big profile just yet, but you've been really strategic. Are you able to pull the curtains a bit and reveal, what is your strategy to recruit, and how is, getting a big profile within your organization assisting you with that?
Yeah. It's a great question. That is I'm just an open book. That is literally the number one reason why I said yes. I'll work with you guys. There was multiple 6-figure sign-on bonuses on the table to work with some very big people. Namely, I can't name them. Never mind. I don't know. I don't even know if I can rhyme them. But anybody that sees it's just funny. Yeah, beep it out on the video, please. Oh, and now I just said that. Oh, God. Cut that. Anyway, and when I met Brad, and I was like, okay, I don't even care if this takes a couple years, because let me give you like I'll give you like the full behind the scenes. So after I signed on, he started posting. I don't know if anybody follows him, but he started doing little stories. He had just started a life insurance company. Same strategy as we're doing, and he started putting like little stories up with real get real. I don't know what it was. Real Bradley.com/solar, whatever. And we had lists I mean, I still have the list, like thousands of names. And there were guys on there that had teams of 200 reps, 50 reps, doing 100 accounts, 200 accounts a month. And we recruited a few of them. We got some legends. I mean, we got Justin Mott. If you don't know who Justin Mott is, you're about to. He's a 200 plus install guy that does that on the 12-day blitz model. Figure that out.
Yeah.
He's a legend. I recruited him over, and then I let them put him above me in the company because he's such a freaking legend. I love that guy. Anyway, you should get him on.
Yeah, man. I'm sure his name down.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's amazing. There's Caesar. Believe it or not, one of the owners' name is Legacy.
I saw that, man. Yeah. I've been following him for a while.
Yeah, he's Legacy. He's like a Latin music star. I don't know, in Colombia. Well, it's funny. He's starting to become something down there, I guess. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this. We were get me back on track. What were you asking about? Oh, Bradley, got it.
Yeah. So how has it actually helped you with your recruitment, and are you able to reveal some numbers as well?
Yeah, I mean, we have lists of thousands of people. What we realized was at the time, we were heavy with one installer, and they got backed up. And so we've really pulled the plug. Not pulled the plug, but on the Brad Lee relationship until we had.
Thank you. I just wanted to have that correct before I go any further. Well,
Jose, you're gonna need to go on. What's happening, bro? Can you go on mute?
company you actually run.
Thanks, bro.
Nice. So we really took a step back and said, okay, we got to build some systems, processes, all the stuff. Some installers are incredible at high volume, but they don't have anything else other than they install it. You got to build everything yourself. So we backed up. We got to around 400 reps in like 2 months, a couple hundred deals a month. And then we just kind of let that ride while we were testing out different models. So numbers wise, I'm trying to think of what I'm allowed to say because we haven't announced it yet, but we've partnered. So we partnered with an incredible organization. We merged actually with a company called Solar Pros. Some people might have heard of them. They're very recent. They came from another very large entity that they disbarred with. And we're going to announce that in the next couple of weeks. But in any event, the whole lesson of this is you can have all the recruits in the world. What we found out, Chad, we have too many from story posts. Krista, Solar Pros, I probably shouldn't have said much more than that. You could probably check it out. They're with the largest, EPC in the country. But that to the side, we realized that you have to have somebody that you can, if you want to scale, because you can build 20 reps, 50 reps, 100 reps, 200 reps, whatever, and maybe 50 to 100 actively producing. You can really put that through. Most people, you're going to have your hiccups. You're going to have pay hiccups, operations. But when you have Brad Lee, part of the team, and Cesar Delgadillo and Legacy Patino, these guys, you'll know their names eventually. They're speaking at SolarCon too. But it's a different animal. Like when I have lists of thousands of people every other day that I've got to freaking figure out how to reach out to, it's just not your normal thing. So we pulled back, stopped recruiting, and really just made something solid. Told Brad, just relax, not relax, but don't worry about posting anything. Let us just build this. Let's find the right leaders. And we've, over the last 6 months, like I said, we brought in a Justin Mott, brought in a Tony Hodges. You don't have to know these names, but they're legends. They're the quiet legends. They're not not the loud. They're not the loud ones. I'm kind of in the middle, sometimes loud, sometimes not. But they're the ones that saw the vision, saw the opportunity of legacy. Like I keep saying that word, but it is a great word, of wealth that can be built in this.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just a gold rush. I don't think it's 3 years, 5 years. I think it's honestly, I'm gonna adjust it for 30 years, but I don't know if we need that long to help as many people and all that. But we brought them in, and now we have the team, and now we're 2 weeks away from Brad going after it again with us, and building. I'm gonna just be freaking real. It's called Real Solar.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? I know you're doing the podcast right now, but I wanted to jump in here real quick and tell you about something that's working really well for a lot of these companies that we're working with right now. So just imagine this, you've got your teams on the door. Now, these guys are slugging away, they're knocking on doors every single day. Maybe you've also got a setup closer model as well. Once they close deals, you also have to pay them their commission, which is great. Everyone needs to eat. But at the same time, your cost of acquisition every single time is just getting higher and higher and higher and higher. One of the solutions that we found that's solving the problem of balancing that cost of acquisition and helping your books look and feel much better is an offshore remote solar sales team. So what we do is we help you recruit, we train, and we manage an entire team that is built offshore in either South America or Central America. This team that we built offshore will have equal or even greater results than the team that's currently operating for you right now, at a fraction of the cost. Now, this model is becoming more and more popular. Where I'm from originally, which is Australia, it's a model that's been popular for many, many years, and it's a model that's starting to catch on into the US as well. So progressive companies, proactive companies are starting to catch on to this model. What I recommend is, if this is something that interests you, building out a remote solar sales team built with offshore HR, then fill in the form below or visit www.salestalkwithsolarpros.com/offshore team. Fill in the form. One of our team members will reach out. They'll ask you a bunch of questions and provide a bunch of value how you could even do it yourself. And if with the right fit, then we'll help you build out that team. So keep enjoying the podcast, and I'll see you on the flip side.
Dude, and I love that, man. How you're now talking about, like, you had to put because it's marketing at the end of the day, the recruitment side, how to get people through the door, and then once you get them through the door, it's like, how do you make sure that they're having a really good experience and they're actually putting through deals.
How do you activate them, right?
Exactly, man. How to activate them. What does their first 7 days look like? What does their first 30 days look like? Because you're going to have teams of experienced, veterans that come through the door. They don't need to be managed. Like, they're just going to start putting through deals. But I guess, like, the majority of people that come through the marketing, they've probably, maybe only done one deal, or maybe haven't even done a deal just yet. What does that look like, man? Like, now that you guys have got, like, I'm guessing, over, 500 to 1,000 people, on that, in the dealer program, what does that look like to activate the amateurs to get them to put through their first few deals?
Right. We've run into, Brad's audience is either people already doing something, people that want to do something, or they're just spectating. Most of them are wanting to do something, they just don't know how. And that's his mission, is get the information to the people, from the people that know how to do it to the people that don't. Basically, that's his tagline. It's a better tagline than that. And you get them out of the rat race, help them make $300,000 or more, and then they can start in a year, maybe in a month, maybe in a week, but let's go with a year, and help them get out of the rat race. And that's his mission. It doesn't matter what it is. And so that's why he saw this. And so we get a lot of people coming through. Housewives, and then you're, all the way up to mortgage guys, door to door, anything, tech guys. I've got guys that run obviously like roofing, painting, all that contractors, but even guys that run like that are big crypto guys that want to get into solar because they see the opportunity. And so we get everything coming in, but activating amateurs, like, and amateur just means like they haven't done it for money before. That's all it means. I have multi-millionaire like realtors and contractors in different areas, because Brad's circle. I know I keep saying Brad, but that's the whole point. That's why I joined. Like he, the Grant Cardones, the Ed Milets, Jordan Belfort's, like these all are his, like Tony Robbins, all these like the biggest names you could ever think of. I mean, just look at his list it's on his podcast.
Yeah.
They're all his friends. I've got to like FaceTime some of them. Like it's kind of weird to me because they're like legends to me. And their circles, like all these people. Anyway, I know that got off track, but I'm talking to people that are like part of their, like the Arete group and all these different things. And they're like the biggest freaking roofer in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And they want to get into solar. So I'm talking to guys, honestly, that are on a level above me. I think that sometimes, and then I go, no, wait, why am I talking to them? Because I can help them. And then I'm talking all the way down, not down, but like if we're going to do a hierarchy, like to someone that's not even making money, that's like, I know a lot of people and my neighbors, and they love me, and we can activate them into referral partners. And then they get a feel for it and they're like, oh, I want to do this full time. Like people that weren't even working don't even need to work. They just see the opportunity. So the activation and the training, that's what we've been building this whole since, April, May, is the systems and processes to be able to plug them in and have them be successful. And we partnered with guys like Michael O'Donnell, amazing, his academy we partnered with Knockstar. We've done like a lot of different things where we're trying to get like to where anybody can come in and do it.
But I heard you guys wanted to partner with Remote Solar Pro. I heard that somewhere. Maybe on
I heard that. I heard that too. I don't know where, but no, yeah, we can definitely talk offline about that. But that's totally an opportunity, because that's my purview in the company is head of all virtual, because I live in Idaho. I don't sell in Idaho. I don't sell in homes. I sell anywhere that I want, and mostly California, because those people need to be helped before April. Like, good God, I really believe it. And that's literally like they're going to switch over to the 3.0 like a week before SolarCon. And I'm just like, until like that deadline's here, I'm figuring every which way to help as many as we can, but it's like a mission versus a money grab, it's like a mission.
Yeah. And what's the hardest? Like, do you find that it's harder to activate the amateurs, or is it harder to activate the higher end of the scale where you've got like a business owner that's making millions in one industry and they want to transition into, possibly even switching completely or opening up, a solar arm?
Honestly, I think it's very, very equal. One sees the opportunity, isn't doing much. Doesn't matter if they're like lower into the income or higher. Maybe their husband or wife makes a ton and they're just chilling. Or the multimillionaire business magnate. I think it's pretty equal, because it's like we say this all the time, but it's a numbers game, and it's just a follow through. Like we got thousands of names every few days, every time he posted a story of, oh, check out solar. The biggest thing is, most people are interested. There's a difference between interested and committed. Do you really want what you say you want? And you find that out very quickly. You give them systems and processes.
Yeah. Let's say I DM Brad Lee right now, and I'm not in solar at all. and I'm, we'll say I'm an amateur, and I'm like, hey man, I'm really interested in this solar opportunity that you're promoting. Well, what's the funnel? What happens to me? Where do I go? Who calls me?
If he reads it, if he
Or
actually
whoever.
reads
Like,
it,
let's say
because
he posts it.
no one else. Yeah, no one. He runs his social, believe it or not. Like he's close to 1 million on Instagram, and I don't whatever, couple million on all socials for a 53-year-old sales guy. Like that's pretty good. Other than Grant Cardone, whatever. He doesn't market as much as Grant, but if he actually replied or said something, he'd probably just send you the link to put in your info, and it would go to our CRM. And then we've been building all this stuff. Everybody knows what high level is. Like we use that. We use just all the way down to Excel spreadsheets. Like that's what we started with. Now we got a bunch of high level integrations, and we have some Lightspeed, which is his software company integrations. But the way it looks is you'll get funneled to, we have staff that are on salary. It'll go to them. They'll reach out. There's a bunch of automation set up just to keep you behind the scenes. They'll reach out, and it really just funnels you to see if are you really serious? And then finally you'll talk to somebody, and then they'll add you to a onboarding Slack channel, and you'll go through a boot camp. If you're experienced, the way we have you put skin in the game is you just gotta put one deal through a mentor. If you can, we have to judge it, right? If you're an amateur, like we're talking about, we have a whole level up, ramp up where they're making, we all know what we can make in solar, right? Maybe some people that are on this or that will be on this or that hear it in your pros group, don't know that, but they're making just from their warm market more money than they probably ever made maybe in 6 months in a month. And that's what we do with the amateurs. We activate them. Most of them don't stick around. That's just the way it is. It's just like door to door. It's just like anything. Most of them don't stick around, but the key and why we will be the largest organization. I'm not going to say the largest producing yet, because I know guys and I know companies that people don't even know of that produce crazy numbers.
There's all these hidden gems.
Yeah, right. But we will be the largest mainly by bodies. But that's the thing where you talk about quality comes from quantity, and you dig through a lot of coal to find diamonds, and I can go into all these cliches, but they're cliches for a reason.
Yeah, what I'm gathering.
Yeah, go ahead.
What I'm gathering is that using a big profile like Brad Lee really helps you attract different parts of the spectrum. Like you've got your really experienced, really successful, and then guys who are actually interested. But then you mentioned that you've got your boot camp as well, which acts as a filter from those who are committed and not committed, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And so what is that boot camp? Because you mentioned that anyone who goes through this boot camp at the other end is going to come out quality, and you want to produce a high number of quality people.
Yes. Sorry, I know that we're a little delayed. They're going to come out quality, or they're not going to come out at all. That's all.
Yeah.
It's just designed to filter out the non-committed. We've had a few people that didn't pass at the end. It's only a week, but it's intense.
What is
it's
it?
basic. What is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, to give an overview, it's okay, first, warm market. Who's your warm market? That's your closest people, your sphere of influence, people you know and know of, people that know and know of you. And there's a lot more than you will think of. You'll think, oh, my mom, my dad, my sister, my brother. But we asked them to do at least 25, but really we help them get to 100. And then just their just reach out to them and say, hey, just reaching out. It's just like door knocking a warm neighborhood. I don't know what you would call it. You're not gonna get like, they're not all gonna say yes, but a lot of them probably, have been knocked, have been whatever, but they don't know the person, but they know you. So we help them tap that first to make, like warp speed, like make some money, right? We help them tap that. And then there's just basic trainings, like how does Solar 101, how does net metering work? Because we, like you guys are digging into this amateur thing. That's most of the people we're talking about. We're not getting a ton of solar pros coming in through this channel. We are, maybe 10, 15%, but getting people that just want to freaking get out of the rat race. And so we teach them everything. It's like teaching a kid to walk. Like, it's funny because we know everything. Like honestly, we know everything. And just like I have a little 3-year-old girl that I get frustrated sometimes when she doesn't understand that she can't take her car seat belt buckle off while I'm driving and crawl up into the front seat. She did that to me today.
Ooh.
I was driving and I was like, what are you doing? She doesn't understand why she's not allowed to do that or why that's not safe. She's just like, I don't really want to sit here. I want to come sit by dad in the front. And I'm like, oh, if we got an accident, you'd be gone. Like, I'm so scared. But that's just a funny story today, literally, where I was like, oh my gosh, she doesn't even know that, but I do. And so if you actually think about these people coming in, it doesn't matter how successful they are in any other thing or never done anything. They don't know how to do it. So we have to put training wheels on, go through the basics, teach them like how all this works, but not teach them too much so they don't like puke out things that don't matter, right? And then we just walk them through different approaches, whether it's over the phone, whether it's on the door, and then we go through what else do they go through? I honestly don't see them if they make it through till like, past that. I have managers and different people that handle that, but it's all to really just, it's not even just, oh, so you're the best solar sales pro. It's more like, can you show up? Can you follow through? Can you do what you say you're going to do? Can you follow a couple, not rules, but like assignments? I don't know, not assignments. That's like school, but like,
just like some guidelines, like basic step by step.
Yeah. Can you just like show up for a week straight? After that, we know like, okay, maybe we can like work with this clay, because clay, like if it's moldable, if it's soft, you can work with it. Yeah. If it's hardened and it's stuck in its ways, that's what we find out in that first week. And then after that, it's like real, like, okay, let's like really like train. Let's give you the opportunity, show up to the company calls, show up to the leadership calls. Well, they wouldn't be doing that, but just like simple stuff. And guys, like, this leads me to something like, Chad, I like that you asked, like, how do you, because I know you guys are like digging in, like, how do you activate the amateur? We give them the opportunity to activate themselves.
Because you have so much volume coming through the door, I guess, like, it's less about how do I work with, each individual specifically. It's like, okay, this is the system. Let's see who goes through and gets through to the other side and quickly weed out the people. That's what I'm gathering.
Yeah, it is. In when you have, and yeah, I guess it could be like an army. It's funny, that's what my team's name is, but like there's all different levels, there's all different ranks, there's all different responsibilities, and there are people that make it through that may be a setter, which is fine and very well paid, like on our comp plan. And they may be on the level of, I want to become a freaking general. Well, we have that too. You can be whatever you want. It's all merit based. It's not, because it's brand new, right? We're brand new, even though we launched last April. We're brand new. We're not like where there's a bunch of people where you're entering this company. Who we're working with is not brand new, but we as a brand with Brad Lee are brand new, where anybody can come in And like, yeah, there's a few people like me that can really like make like here's 100 people, like work with them, like our comp plan, like never have to sell again. Which is not, I don't say that in a like a, oh, you don't want to. It's just like we set it up that way so you can be more of an inspirational, figure for your team to look to, and use that for recruiting and all that. But we set it up to where you can. It doesn't matter if you're you just got out of jail, or it's gonna be you went to Yale. Like, doesn't matter which one you're from, you can do it. And I think that's the same in all solar. But I'm gonna be honest, like you're gonna be seeing a lot. Like if you guys go to SolarCon this year, you're gonna be seeing a lot more videographers and a lot more this and that.
Yeah.
Like with people, it's gonna be 10 times as last year because people are understanding the value of a brand when it comes to, and you guys are doing an amazing job with that. And Brad his brand is infectious in a good way. Like it's viral. He doesn't give a crap what anybody thinks. And people like that. That's why we're called Real Solar, right? So I know I'm not like saying anything new, but I just know that like the branding is going to be the key to building. Before it was how much are you paying? Are you actually paying? Are you installing fast? Now it's going to be, yeah, are you even installing like ever, right? We talked about that earlier, but yeah, now it's going to be the brand. Like, the Danny Pessis and the guys, no matter what you think, like he's like the infectious personality, viral, just everything. He's become like the face of our industry somehow.
Yeah.
Not somehow, because he's freaking awesome. And he's fun and he doesn't fake anything. And he just like loves people, loves everything. And I love the guy, and I see why he is where he is. I don't care. I'm not trying to like be him, but I'm talking about branding, right? And branding, I mean, people will want to work with you because of something, a Brad, a Danny, a Seth with Notorious Legacy. Like they'll want to work with you because of being involved in that culture, which a lot of people talk about the word cult. Where do you think that comes from? Where do you think people buying into something? It comes from culture. And so the brand, like people are going to work with you. They're not going to, our industry is evolving to where asking about Redline, asking about this and that is going to you're going to get laughed out of the room.
Yeah, man.
Because
totally agree,
what do you
bro. Like, it's a question of harassment, the whole Redline thing. And you're totally right about branding as well, because traditionally what I found, and being in solar in Australia, it was all about who can get the most land grab, who can sell the most solar, and just put through as many deals as possible before the rules change, right? And I feel like that's almost starting to. I mean, it's definitely happening in the US right now with changes like NEM 2 going into NEM 3. We saw it in Hawaii. We saw it in Texas as well. And this is where the companies that are concentrating on building a brand, especially a really strong brand, partnering with people like Brad Lee to leverage off time that these people have spent in already building brands. They're ultimately going to be the winners, man. And that brings me to my next section, because I want to get a little bit deeper into remote sales specifically. And you being the head of virtual or remote sales for Real Solar. What are you seeing in terms of like cancellation rates for guys who are doing big volume in remote sales? Like what type of numbers are you seeing with cancellations, and what are you guys doing to reduce the number of cancellations for on-phone sales, whether it's a phone sale or a Zoom sale?
And in addition to that, I just want to say, how big of a role does remote sales actually play within Real Solar as well?
Yeah, remote right now, I mean, so to answer you, Chad, like we get like Brad's reach is everywhere. So states that barely have like 5 solar companies installing within a 20-mile radius, like Iowa, North Dakota, Wyoming, these are places where I've like had to find people to fulfill deals. So all that to, I mean, can you go back to, so what exactly were you asking? I'm trying to like get my mind around because I'm thinking of an answer. Yeah.
How big of a role does remote solar sales play in real solar?
Oh, yeah. No, so the reason I said all that is it's huge because a lot of those places, their option with us is go out on a blitz where we're doing a blitz because we have the real blitz kings. That's Justin Mott and David Prince. They're amazing. They produce freaking 50 to 100 deals every 12 days just from that.
Crazy.
But it's either a blitz or virtual for a lot of them because there's no EPC like that we're going to partner with to put a deal or two through. Like,
Yeah.
So it's very big. It's going to get way bigger because, like I said, we decided to stop promoting until we had stuff in the works and just organically bring on some leaders, some reps, our circles, and now we have the leadership foundation and the processes and systems partnerships to fulfill. But it's huge, man, because Brad doesn't just like only have his podcast and his socials and. Like we have people in Canada, we have people in the Middle East, we have people in India, Australia, a lot of places that want to work with us. And we're setting, we were kind of like, oh, let's not worry about that right now. But now we're realizing they can just sell remote.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys do, right? So
yeah.
His reach is the whole world. So virtual is a big part. It's going to be the biggest part, and I'm grateful that that's like what they trust me with. And I'm also grateful know guys like you. I know a lot of different people that are really pushing this, not pushing, just like showing the world that like you can help a lot of people, and you don't have to drive that. You don't have to sit in their home, make them clean up, all these different things. You can help people very efficiently and get it done. But then back to what you were asking about cancellation, it's all in the approach. I'll be honest with you, man. Like I used to, when I was at Solar City, Tesla, all these everything I've ever done, if I don't close it in the house that day, I'm never closing. I don't have time for this. I have plenty of leads. I have plenty of people that want this. If I didn't help, not convince them, but if I didn't like give them the value that they don't see the value in pulling the trigger today, next, I don't care. And now I've kind of like gone a hybrid of that. Like I do a lot of stuff just over the phone, not even over video. And I still do it myself. I don't know. I like it. It's great. It's great money. It's great everything. But to reduce cancellations, I've not slowed down, but extended the sales process a little. That may not sound efficient, but I don't get like, I know this sounds crazy, but I haven't had one cancel since last July, like 5 touching, 10 touching people and just becoming their friends. Yes, it's a longer process. And if I had too many leads or bills or appointments, maybe I wouldn't, but I've just been able to really hone in on that. We are opening a couple offshore call centers. I probably won't have time to follow up like that, and we'll have VAs and assistants to do that for us. But yeah, man, it's just like getting to know them, finding like, I know that we always talk about like, oh, build rapport. And everybody spells that wrong. That's a pet peeve of mine. But build rapport. Report. It's rapport. Anyway, find common. Like I always teach my guys, like find common ground to then bring them to higher ground, which is understanding what you can help them with. But at the end of the day, like over the phone or on a video, like not in person, you can't feel that energy. You can guess, right? You can guess. I mean, I know that you guys do great, and you probably have tons of people that right when you're trying to qualify them, they just hang up. Like, whatever, that's not what you're doing the best you can, right? And we do it too. And I've just found that question-based selling, like Jeremy Minor, like at first, like just finding out, like, can I even help you? And I literally am trying to do it. I'm not trying to like con you into whatever his thing is, neuro-emotional programming questioning. I don't know what that.
Tap your shoulder type thing.
Yeah, like it's cool, like all these things. They're all great. But people are very, very like not smart. It's energy. Like you can just feel whether it doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter how much value I give you, how much information I give you. I know whether I can trust you or not. And that's in person. I just hit this little table and it just wiggled. Right. But over the video, over the phone, it's very hard to transfer that. So I've just been open to, hey, and I say it all the time, and I know my guys like that listen in or whatever are like, are you just saying that? Like, I'm like, no rush. Hey, there's no rush. There's no problem. My goal really is just to see if I can even help you. That's the first thing. Once we determine that, then it's to see, I mean, can you even qualify? Like, for what because if we can help you, now we got to see if you can qualify. And I know it might sound like I'm like acting. I mean, it is somewhat, but it's tonality, but it's sincerity and authenticity too. Like they can hear it in a voice. But if you can't see the body language, you just gotta be real. You gotta smile. You gotta like self-deprecate, make jokes about yourself. My little girl comes in my office, and I used to be like, get out. I'm trying to make 20 grand, 10 grand, whatever. Now I'm like, oh, just a second, Patty. I've had like 3 patties closed in the last 2 weeks. Really funny. Anyway, in the same city. But back to that, she'll say something. I'll be like, hey, Patty, just a second. My daughter's asking me something. And just that's a whole other aspect of virtual, bro. Like
it humanizes the whole
whatever I want all day long, or I can work. But my daughter comes in, and it just brings the authenticity to it, the realness, like the value. Like I'd rather value what my daughter's asking me, and they see it, but I'm not doing it on purpose. And so all that to tell you, I know I just went crazy, but reducing cancels is just like being like not being so like gripping the close, because they could cancel right away, especially if you have an installer that doesn't install as fast as my partners.
What's up guys, real quick, just jumping in here. If you've ever wanted to become an individual sales rep and be able to sell solar from anywhere in the world, just like I am here right now, you need to jump onto the Remote Solar Pro course and program that we put together for you guys specifically. We've got the scripts, the sales call library, we've got every tool, every resource that you need to make your first sale this week alone. Jump onto salestalkwithsolarpros.com/RSP, mention this specific podcast and get a deal on a lifetime membership to Remote Solar Pro. Let's go, keep enjoying the podcast.
But you want to like, they're bought in, like if they decided to cancel on you, it's like they were married to you, now they're divorcing you. And that can happen. That can happen in a couple days. Yeah. I do not believe it can happen. See, there's plenty of people that just hang on and they do it, but whether or not, but I don't believe that can happen if you talk to somebody for 30 minutes and get them to sign docs. And maybe that's my limiting belief. Well, I did it forever. So I just think now people are, and yeah, I had like a 30% cancellation rate and everybody was like, that's amazing because you're closing 25 a month, whatever. That's great. But at the end of the day, like I've just gotten more value out of knowing the people I'm helping, and then the referrals come. Just the trust is there, and I was talking to this lady for an hour, and 10 minutes was about solar. The other 50 minutes was about aliens and conspiracy theories and chemical spills. And she's super into like, nothing is what it seems. And I'm like, to be honest, I think the same thing. Let's talk about that. And then at the end of it, she's like, all right, well, we're doing business. Just send me over the info, whatever.
Yeah.
Signed it,
Real,
you know.
Any great sale that I've ever done, and I know that you've done as well, with Joe today, has been all around getting to know that person on a relationship level, on a deeper level. Because at the end of the day, you can follow a sales process, and as an amateur, you just want to follow the sales process. But once you get your first deal, you want to add that second layer, which is exactly what you're saying, man. Which is, how do I personalize this? How do I add my own flavor? How do I add the body to the skeleton that I've been following the whole time?
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge, like you said. And that's the other thing, though. What I'm telling you, or what we're talking about, I'm not really telling, we're just conversating, but it's the amateur. Yeah, that's a little tough. There's very talented people that will just come in and just be real, and people will buy from them, and the person, they don't even know what they're selling to the person. It's just cheaper energy, right? That's not normal, though. Most people do need a script. I know you guys provide a lot of that. You've shown me some stuff, and it's great stuff. I've used it. People have used it. Some of my guys, and at the end of the day, like, the biggest part is, you got to know where you are before you, like, where are you? Amateurs start, they got to follow that and then build the muscles around the bones. What I'm talking about is more just flowing with it and being real. And yeah, I guess I can do things without thinking. It's like driving, right? But we do have to start people where you're at, where you're not you're at, but what you help people with is, follow the script, and then eventually, make it yours, and then just be committed enough to keep following through. And then you will see, 5-figure weeks. You will see 6-figure months. And it's fun, but yeah, man, I mean, we're in an incredible opportunity, incredible industry, grateful for it. That's the number one thing, is just wake up every day and be like, I learned this from Brad, is wake up every day and be like, would you rather have $1 million or $10 million, but know that you weren't going to wake up tomorrow, or wake up tomorrow? And you would say, wake up tomorrow.
Wake up tomorrow, man. Yeah.
So, like, I've learned a lot of things, and gratitude is just the highest. There's other vibrations, but gratitude is such a high one. I'm just grateful for you guys, grateful for the time on here, grateful for everybody on this, and everybody that's going to see it in all your groups, and people that actually just understand the value of what we're plugged into, man. It's crazy. Yeah. Have you ever thought about it? Like, I can make a couple calls, a couple hours, or I can partner with someone that's good at online generation, whatever. Hire some people to dial some old garbage data lists, and I can make the top 1% of income, whatever state you're in, or in the whole country, helping someone save money. Like, think about it, man. Like, I know you guys think
crazy industry.
I know you guys.
It's a crazy industry, dude.
Yeah.
Everyone wins. There are no losers in solar.
Blown away. Yeah, nobody. It's a win-win, and if it's not, you're just not. You might not might not be doing it right, or you're just, nobody's ever showed you how to do it right. It's a win-win, and it will be forever because there's too much opportunity. So anyway, yeah. I love what we do. I love how many people we help, and the families, and the freedom we give people, especially in remote, bro. Virtual, like, I mean, can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah, man.
Like, I mean, you guys, I don't love the word grind, because I don't think you should have to grind. I think it should just be light and easy, and that's the way it should be if it's the right thing. But also, I know you guys work hard. You put in time. How many hours, like, are you actively really, like, and maybe it's more than I think, but how many hours are you actively, like, I'm setting, closing, whatever, like, in a day?
Yeah, I think we can answer that individually.
Yeah,
right? I mean, like because we actually haven't really discussed this, but like, for me, freedom is incredibly important, right? Financial freedom and location independence as well, right? And so with that freedom basically comes the opportunity to be able to wake up at any time, right? And being able to choose your hours where you can actually work and where you can actually work from as well. So right now we're in Playa del Carmen, just across from the beach as well. It's beautiful weather. And I know that, in different parts of North America right now, it's snowing, it's freezing, right?
Oh yeah, it's freezing and it's snowing here.
Yeah. And, some people basically ask the question, like, if I'm going to do solar sales, like, what's in it? What does the future actually look like? Well, what the future basically looks like is freedom. But as you're making these six figures, now we're focusing on, just really building our investments, cash flowing assets. And I'm able to do that all from here, right? And just this morning, we basically signed 9 units and 3 duplexes as well, all on the same day.
Wow.
And that's a remote skill, right? So not only are you in a position where you can actually earn 6 figures in 1 month, but even if you do earn 4 or 5 figures, you can basically put that towards cash flowing assets, and you've got that power and ability to be able to do so.
Yeah. It's all transferable, man. And I think, to answer your question, because I could say I'm working 30 hours, but my work is different to someone else's work. And it depends on, what role you have within your company and all that sort of stuff. When I'm simply just setting and closing, I could be doing anywhere from 8 to all the way up to 11, 12 hours a day. Or I'm splitting it between, how am I helping, our members of Remote Solar Pro put through their deals. So that's the reason for my questions to you, man, to find out, what are you guys doing at a huge freaking scale at 500 to 1,000 reps? I'm sure you're not working 24 hours, to keep 1,000, but there's systems in place to continue with your freedom, with your flexibility. You've got a 2-year-old daughter, you've got a family to look after, and then you've got 500 other kids that are all wanting your attention all at the same time. You know what I mean? So I guess it just depends on how you define work. Right. For me, I don't feel like it's working when I'm, putting this in. But, if I was to boil it down to the number of hours that I'm, on the laptop doing what I do, I'd say, anywhere from 8 to 10 hours a day. But that's me. I enjoy it. It keeps me going.
Yeah. So for me, it's about 8 to 10 hours a day. Just to answer that question as well. But yesterday, Valentine's Day, I took the entire day off, spent it with my girlfriend, just brunch, lunch, dinner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the reason I was asking that is because I know that, it's choice, right?
Yeah.
And so I set up, and you guys, yeah. I mean, you're putting in that's a lot. That's how Elon or all these people are like, oh, I work 100-hour weeks and I sleep in the office. For virtual remote, 8 to 10 hours is the same thing as 100-hour week. Because I'm on the phone off and on. I talk to some of my setters, dialers, different people in whether it's the Philippines or Mexico, or I have a bunch onshore in the US. I talk to them if they need anything, but the way we're able to handle at scale is, and we're honestly, I'm not going to say I don't have 500 people or 1,000. We're going to. I have maybe 50 right now doing this because we could have 400 or 500 reps. And there's only 50 to 100 doing anything.
Yeah.
And I'm still selling, not like crazy, but I'm still selling. But I have there's always a hierarchy, but there's, regionals and managers and assistant managers and stuff. But we're really making this so it can be done like you guys are teaching. Our main goal is, if you want to go door knock, you want to go on blitzes, you're already doing that, go do that. But Brad's main thing is, so he has a t-shirt that says, ask me how to work in your PJs or something.
Oh, I love that, man.
And it was for his life insurance company, Real Financial Army. And this is Real Solar Army. But Real Financial Army, you know, he had a guy on his podcast that told him all about his industry. And then Brad was like, can I just like feed you recruits? And then this is a kind of a rewind, but Brad had one of our owners was Brad's COO of his Lightspeed company, the software training company.
Yeah.
He quit his position to go sell solar. And that's what made Brad go. That's what made Brad go. You make like $250,000. Why would you quit that to go knock doors and sell solar in Yuma, Arizona?
Because Michael O'Donnell's making $1 million.
Right. And that was Legacy, one of our guys, but incredible dude, incredible visionary. But yeah, it's like, that's what got him into it. So all that to go back, I know I keep going off and I love it and I love telling stories, but you guys are great on your questions. The virtual side of things, like I asked you how much you work because I work as much, like my answer is as much as I want or none. Like
yeah, exactly, man.
Right? And I'm not saying you answered it wrong. I'm saying that's another thing that I'm working on is I always like have to buffer what I say to people because I think they're thinking something. I'm just giving you my personal growth story. But no, like there's no wrong answer. It's like you put in what you want and get out what you want, but there is a minimum. Like I tell my guys, you got to dial at least 2 hours. Like you're not going to get anything just knocking doors for 30 minutes.
Waiting.
You know?
Yeah.
Right?
There's levels to the game.
There's levels. There's levels.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I love it. But yeah, I work probably, if we're going to do hours, 2 to 4 hours actively. And then I'm on and off the phone and texting. Yeah, I probably hit 8 to 10 hours, but it doesn't feel like it. I take my kids to swim practice or after school. I pick up my kids from school if I want to, go to the gym at 12 noon if I want to. And I'm not saying some people, that's not good to have no structure. I have structure. I just do what I want when I want. Or I can hang out with my wife if all the kids are like in the middle of the day. Like nobody does that. Like it's like changed our life. It's saved our relationship. I'll be honest. Like it's saved it. When I was in corporate solar, like I was gone. I'd even be on blitz trips for 2 weeks, or I'd be gone down in Utah because that's where everybody's freaking headquartered. You know, like, and it saved it. So like I'd rather sell 4 or 5 deals. Obviously, I'm partnered with Brad, and that's just a huge play. But I'd rather sell 4 or 5 deals in my own dealer, have a great life, make $1 million. Maybe I need 6 to 8 deals to do that, but that's possible. Then be gone and have no options. And my whole thing is just choices and options. Do I have freedom to do what I want, or is somebody telling me what I have to do? No. So it's just whatever you value. Like, what are your values? And then I think you're able to, I think in virtual and remote selling, you can actually decide to live by your values rather than having to give them up.
Yeah. That's actually a very strong point right there. And, speaking of committed earlier as well, I know that, you're taking time out right now and you've got a family to go to and, it is actually getting a little late, but we'll have 3 quick questions as well from basically our viewers here. Okay. And I guess we'll just power through these questions as well.
Yeah. So, if you want to ask a question, just drop a little thumb into the chat and then we'll unmute you. We'll unmute you.
I was just looking at the chat. I love it, Krista. Yeah, you don't get cancels either. Misael, is he still in here? I think I know Misael too.
What's up, brother? Yeah, I'm still here.
How you doing, man? I think we follow each other. I think you used to work with me or with a company I was with. But anyway.
Yeah, I think so. But I'm with Real too, with Caesar.
Oh, well, that's how I know you then. Come on.
Yeah.
All right. So we got looks like we got 2 questions so far. So Krista,
Kristen, say it.
I
Kristen,
got a million questions, but I know you guys want to keep it to one. So back to the recruiting and not really activating amateurs so much. But would you say, so something I've been doing is like just kind of blasting, getting like 100 people to a group call and then having them like everyone's kind of onboarded and can get started with me, and then they kind of weed themselves out a bit. Would you suggest continuing to do that? Or now that I'm starting to get a little bit more selective with things, like actually take the time and have individual kind of interview calls and be more selective when it comes to the interview and hiring?
That's a really good question. We've set up a lot of text automations and a lot of things over, because I was doing individual things, and oh my God, like you guys
It's
talking about
tough.
8 to 10. Yeah, you're talking about 8 to 10 hours. Like I was like, why am I talking to all these people? And it's not that they're not worth it or valuable. It's like there's better systems. And so my buddy runs Sales Recruiter University. His name's Ryan Homan, and another buddy of mine like that runs Solar Client Systems. They have a solar recruiter service. I've learned a lot from them, and the way what I would do, what you're doing, I honestly think it's the best way to start is a group, and then you just kind of have a couple levels.
Mhm.
You a couple meetings. If you're saying 100, I mean that's a good start, and then you just set another time to go a little bit deeper, and then you'll have 50 show up. You give them the opportunity. You don't tell them yes or no. You just keep it simple and then get a little more complex. And I know I'm not giving like super detailed, but a little more complex in your questioning. The first one is literally like, do you know how to follow through on what you say you're going to do? I don't know. And they're all going to say yes. But then you're going to set another time, and there's going to be maybe out of 100, maybe 50, maybe even 25 that even show up to the next one, even though they said, yes, I know how to follow through. If you're getting that many, I don't get like that many people on a Zoom. So that's awesome. I'd love, maybe you need to come. Can you come work with us? Maybe.
Check your DMs and Facebook. We'll talk.
I'll hit you in the DMs. I think I heard you were doing something with Solcius a minute back. Are you still doing that or no?
I went out and joined their telesales team last year, and now I'm with a couple of different companies and got a few things going on. So, but yeah,
cool.
It's on their telesales
That's
team.
Funny. That's funny. I hear it's funny how much I know about stuff just by like being friends with everybody, listening and trying to help. Like, I'm glad that you're doing well. Like you sounded like you're doing awesome, but I would just like make it a little more complex every time, filter them in. And then the ones that show up like the second, the third time, whatever system you do, like then really the leaders will show themselves. They'll speak up, or the ones that want this, they'll ask questions. Most people won't. They'll stay in the wallpaper and just hope you're going to give them a lottery ticket. But like I said, quality comes from quantity. Doesn't mean some of those people might not like the ones that keep following through, but they don't say anything. Like they could do something. You just, at the end of the day, there's so many people that we have to help. They've got to first want to help themselves, and you got to give them a system to just, filter themselves in to your organization. Instead of like weeding out, filtering out, the process needs to be to filter them in. And cool. I know that's very
it's not actually what I'm doing, because I'm doing a group call, and then I put all the new everyone gets to join, and they go to one chat, and then from that chat, once they show up to the next call or the next thing, then they get moved over to another chat, and then they get moved over until they're.
You're already good.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I just had to make sure.
No, you're killing it. No, there's a reason why I know who you are. You're a killer. I know that. There's a reason.
Appreciate it.
And I love it. No, like I said, we all just gotta understand we're on the same team and help each other out. Not always say what's in it for me. Yes, that's business too. I've given away millions of dollars of advice, but at the end of the day, it comes back to you. It's freaking karma and chakras, and life and Jesus. I don't know. I'm just saying everything, but yeah, that was an awesome question.
Appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Hey, you're welcome, Krista.
Awesome. I think we had Jacob. Me and Jacob spent some time together in Medellin, so
Wow.
He's in Brazil right now.
Yeah, I'm selling from Brazil currently, southern Brazil.
Where are you at in Brazil?
I'm in Balneário Camboriú, commonly referred as BC. It's like the wealthiest area.
Okay. My brother played pro volleyball all over Brazil for a while, so I kind of like learned about it just because I wanted to know where he was. But that's awesome, dude. That's freaking cool.
Yeah, the beach culture here is amazing. It's like it's super fun. Everyone's wearing flip flops everywhere.
That's sweet.
So I have a VA.
You guys are living the life.
Yeah, my question is in regards to automating things, not doing everything yourself. So if you were to go back and think, what were the most valuable things you automated? What's like, the first thing, down the line that you would recommend automating or having a VA do?
There's a lot of different areas like automating, like there's different ways. There's automation where you have people filling that role. There's automation where you have technology. I would say the number one automation. So the way I learned how to do the systems and processes I do is I did it myself. Just like I went out and door knocked, back before Solar City, I was door knocking for alarms, right? And then I went inside and started doing inside. But I learned how to do it myself, and that's not like, yay, great, good. But I automated setting, appointment setting. And then I also did that I teach my other, I say like my guys that, I have guys that make way more than I make. Like I taught them that, and it's also, we automated that. So we have offshore, like just for myself, or I teach them, and we can add seats offshore, whether it's Philippines, Juarez. We pay way more than like what they ask, like, because we want to keep them around, not way more, but like twice or at least 1.5 times. Because some of these people ask for like $3 and $4 an hour, and I'm like, nah, we're gonna pay like $8 at least. But automating setting, automating getting a bill. We teach them like, hey, just get me that golden ticket, I'll do the rest. And there's a lot of systems, like everybody does their own thing, but automating setting has been big. I'll tell you, like, this is teaching me, this is making me think of like automating things in my household too. Like there's a lot of things you can do when you make, over 300 grand, 400 grand a year, especially you have a wife, 3 kids, a big property. Like my wife's a lot happier if I have someone else clean the house or someone else do the laundry. You can have people do all that. Have someone else come and clean the car, fix the car at the house, not take it to the shop. There's all these automations, but automating setters. I know I'm just going crazy, but I like your smile. I'm just like, I'm going off on it. But the best thing is that I've done is finding hungry people that want to learn how to make. I'm paying a setter $5 grand on Friday for just one deal that he set. Like, come on. Right? And a lot of people tell me, oh, you don't have to pay him that much. And I say setter, whatever they are, dialer. They don't care what their name is. They're learning something they didn't know. And it's so like, he's starting to learn how to close his own stuff. But anyway, I know I'm going crazy, but automating setters was probably my number one thing. And then they do, honestly, as long as you are good enough, not good, like you close them some damn deals if they actually follow through and get you some bills or however you set it up, and then you pay them or it's set up to where they get paid. Like, you'd be amazed at how, I've got guys, they just they just tell their friends all over the world or right here locally in Idaho, hey, you could dial for 2-3 hours a day. I'm getting paid, I'm making 15, 20 grand a month, work literally actively working 2 to 3 hours. You'd be surprised how easy it is to find more people to help them start closing their deals. So you're not keeping your setters down, trying to always make them set for you forever. There's some that will want to, they don't care. 2 to 3 hours. I work a lead that they send me, or a bill, or my guys work a lead. Like, we'll work it way more than the 10 minutes they took on the phone, right? Because we're talking about cancellations. I'll touch a touch is a phone call, but or a text, 15, 20, 30 times, to get paid on that deal. But all I'm saying is, like, it's wild what you can do when you realize, like, there are tons of people out there that you could help change their lives, and then they're going to feed more and more people to you. So anyway, long answer to a simple question: automating the appointment setting process. Because I'll give you the reason why, and then I'll be done with it. I found that I was not good, or I didn't want to do that. So I found somebody that was willing to do it, and I was willing to pay them well to do what I did not want to do. And it was a lot better than, buying, set appointments and all that. Like, that's all great too. Some people are amazing, but I've wasted a lot of money on that instead of just having people do the digital door knocking for me. And not even for me, with me. And then I pay them a good chunk to do the very front end work. So anyway, automating appointments.
Automating is key, man. Well, automating is, Jacob, automation will take you to the next level, dude. Bro, thanks so much, man. I know you've got to get back to your daughter. What time is it over there, man? Where you are?
This was like good timing. It's 7:30.
Okay.
This is good timing because I have 3 kids. I got a 13-year-old boy, a 10-year-old girl, and a 3-year-old girl. They're like at swim practice or they're at something. So don't even worry about it. But I appreciate you guys. If there's any other questions, it's fine. I'm not really in a hurry. Oh, Jacob already has a maid and a chef too. That's the life.
The advantages of remote solar sales.
Hey, I don't live in that area. The cost of living up here is a little crazier. But anyways.
Bro, where can people find you? If they want to know more information, if they want to follow you on the socials, where can they find you?
It's on Instagram. It's the real Cameron Mahr. Honestly, I'm just starting to. Brad's saying, hey, if you're associated with me, you got to build a brand. So I'm like, all right, fine. Facebook, I just have a personal one. I got to get into that game too. I got to get on your guys' level. I have a private group. Back when I was doing a lot of consulting, it's called Solar Millionaire. You can join that. People just talk on that. There's people that have services and whatever. I just leave it wide open. Solar Millionaire down there, man.
We'll link it for you in the YouTube video.
Yeah, Solar Millionaire on Facebook. That's cool. But the real Cameron Mahr on Instagram, that's the only thing I'm really starting to put content out. And we're just honestly trying to help everybody. Let's all work together, keep doing the right thing. Here's the last thing I want to leave you with. If you ever are questioning if you're, am I winning more in this deal than the homeowner? Then take a step back and make sure that there's no question there that you're benefiting them as much as you're being benefited, because we're in a trustee relationship. And if we flip it on them and we become the bigger beneficiary than that homeowner, it's not right. And that's just the freaking universe. So we need to all do the right thing by the homeowner and understand that there's abundance out there and we're not competing with anyone. We're creating our results and there's too many people to help. And so just go create. That's it. And that's what I live by. Abundance and just, I don't know. I love you guys. I know I'm getting all freaking hippie and new age on you. So anyways.
No, we love it, man. And we feel that energy from you as well. I mean, it's great.
Hey, can I ask a follow-up question on right now on Jacob's question? So you said about paying your setters well. What have you found? Is there like a formula that you use? Like maybe you pay them 60% of the deal or 50% of the deal? So they were shooting on that strategy too. Yeah. But we haven't found really is consistency on the results.
Yeah, I mean it's very different from being on the phone to being on the doors. Honestly, I just know it is. I've done both a lot. I'm doing most of my stuff, and a lot of my guys are just following what I do in California. And if you're in solar and you understand solar, like you can help a homeowner very, very well, save them a lot of money, and also make a lot of money, depending on your negotiations, your deal, your red line, whatever. So I'm 75-25, but that's off of my dealer's red line. Okay, I'm giving you everything. I don't care. They all know it. I tell them, but that's off of mine. Most people can't get the red line I have. Like you can't. It's not because of volume. It's just because I don't know.
Yeah, relationship.
Well, yeah, it's relationships. Like I've made them, and I can get what someone that does 50 to 100 deals a month doing 5 to 10 a month. I have the same deal, and it's not to brag. It's just relationships. So they get 25 of mine, and I show them everything. The most transparency, like, and they're grateful, and I'm grateful for them. And I'm training 2 of these guys that have I think they've set like just 5 that have closed. I'm training them to just do their own. And they're like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to make like, and then I'm just giving them a red line. And like, I'm like, it's all up to you now. You take care of it. And they're like, I'm going to make this much. Like they get excited when you actually, I don't know if I can cuss, but give a fuck about them. Like,
go for it.
Yeah.
You keep it real.
Right? Like just if you're finding yourself having and like, oh, I don't know if I should say this, just say it and see what happens. And I do that with customers. I do that with guys that work with me. Like just I know it's Brad Lee's thing, but I've adopted it. Like just be real and everything will come to you, and just do the right thing and it'll come to you. You have to wake up, you have to execute, you have to like believe in yourself, but you just be who you are and not try to be what you think people want you to be. You're going to have a good life. And so anyway, I know I get off on a tangent of philosophical stuff, but yeah, like the 75-25, like that's on my red line, and they love it. Like this guy's getting $5,500. I mean, that you can compute how big that deal was. And this lady's saving $300 a month off of her bill. Think about that. Jesus. Maybe you want to sell in Cali. I don't know.
Cool. I'm in Texas. I'm in Texas, so over here we have to sell like 3.5, 3.2.
You got bigger systems though, so I'm doing Texas too. So
okay,
I like
cool.
it. I love it. Now, did that answer your question though? A little bit?
Yeah. Great answer. Thank you.
Thanks everyone for asking the questions as well, man. And once again, Cameron, we appreciate the hour and 45 minutes that we've taken from you. I know, once everyone that's been watching live, that's had VIP access, but also everyone who's going to be watching across Instagram, TikTok, Sales Talk with Solar Pros, and as we repurpose all this content, everyone's going to get a ton of value, man, because people see, Real Solar as like the real Brad Lee brand, but at the end of the day, it just comes down to who are the people that are making up, the entire brand, what's actually happening behind the scenes. You know, that's really what matters, man. And you're bringing integrity to the industry. And yeah, man, thanks a lot, bro. Once again.
I appreciate you guys, and you didn't take an hour and 45 from me. You gave me the opportunity, and I'm grateful for it, and I'm grateful for you guys. And yeah, let's just all keep going out there and helping people, man. That's it.
Rock it, man. We'll let you get out of here, man. All right, bro.
All right, guys.
Great, man. See ya.